So the next takedown and takedown defense we're going to be starting to look at is the double leg. So we cover this on quite a few of the fundamental classes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the basic takedown that we show and the kind of the principle and the concepts behind it. We're going to look at sprawling from the takedown as well. And then we're going to just start touching on a few other kind of different variations that you can start looking at as well, okay, using the same principles. So first and foremost, in order for me to be able to get a good double leg takedown, the first thing that I need to do, okay, is for me to be able to close that distance. Okay, so it's important that I get close to Kim. Okay, the other thing that we have to focus on is making sure that when I do get close to Kim, my body weight is below his. Okay, so my hip and my center of gravity is below Kim's. So we explain this in the fundamental classes, okay, in the way that we are trying to change our level. Okay, so in order to lower our level, I want to make sure that my knees are always bent. So I'm always trying to make sure that my headline, okay, or my eye line, sorry, is below Kim's. If his is above mine, it's hard for me to get close to his hips. The other thing I need is I need some clearance. I need to make sure that I'm getting close to his body without his arms getting in the way. So there's different ways that I can do that depending upon what he's doing. Okay, let's just say, for example, if his arms are up, okay, so he's defending, I can push the hands up. Okay, if his hands are closer to his hip, I can use the hands on the inside to clear the space for me to get closer to the hip. Okay, it's a lot harder for me to try and double leg somebody when they're connected to me. So it's important that I've got a little bit of space and they're not controlling my body, for example, gripping my sleeves or my collar. If he is doing so, okay, I would try and break these grips first and make sure that I've got enough space for me to get inside. So now that I've got some space, okay, and he's not connected to me, okay, and I've cleared the arms out of the way, okay, I need to close that distance. So remember, we're going to change our level, so we're going to bend our knees, we're going to make sure that my body is up, so I need to make sure my hips are aligned with my shoulders. From this position now, I'm going to close that space. So I'm going to step my leading leg forward, and I'm going to allow my trailing leg to follow. And when I get into this position, I need to make sure that I'm staying postured. I want to make sure my chest is connected to the thigh, and my head is on the outside. And I'm using my shoulder, look here, to fold Kim forward from the hips. Okay? And what this does is it allows me to be able to control the weight of the hips. Okay? And for me to be able to make the legs nice and light. Okay? So once I get to this position, okay, and I've made him fold forwards, I'm going to aim to try and trap those legs. If I start driving forward without trapping his legs, Kim can start using his legs to start stepping back and defend. Okay? So what I'm going to do from this position, so once I've cleared the hands, I've changed my level, I've stepped through, my shoulder hips to hips, my chest connects to the thigh, I'm going to trap the back of his legs here. Okay, so I'm cupping the creases of his knees from the outside here. And I'm using that to pull the knees closer to me. From here now, I need to drive him back. Simplest way of doing that is by dropping this knee to the floor. Okay, once I get to this position now, I can start posturing up. I've taken my opponent down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start focus on opening up those legs and passing the guard. Okay, so moving the hands out of the way, changing the level, stepping through, making sure I'm postured. I don't want my hips to be falling behind. My head comes up. I'm always looking up towards the ceiling. I'm driving forward with my shoulder, pulling the knees in, and I'm dropping my knee to the floor. Okay. Okay, so there are other variations to the double leg takedown. This is the simplest way to be able to explain it, okay? But you can also take your opponent down with lifting as well. So say, for example, if I was in this position, I can push the hands out the way, I can step in, and as long as my chest is connected to his thigh, I can start stepping forward, look here, and I can start using this as a lift control. From here now, I can start clearing the legs and start bringing Kim out to the side. So obviously the advantage of this kind of takedown, it allows me to land straight into side control. Another variation to this double leg takedown would be for me to be able to lift and start changing, okay, the angle. So rather than driving him backwards, I'm going to aim to chop to the side. So same principle again, moving the hands out the way, stepping through, controlling. This time round, rather than driving him backwards, I'm going to start lifting the leg. So I'm going to push into his head. Okay, so push my head into his hips. And as I'm doing this, I'm going to start lifting up the leg and changing the angle to the side. The most important things to remember for any double leg takedown is making sure that I'm changing my level. I'm clearing the hands. I need to make sure that my hips are always aligned with my shoulders. So I never want to allow myself to be able to fold forwards. It's going to make it easier for Kim to be able to defend the double leg takedown. Okay. So just to give you an example of this. Okay. So we're going to talk about how Kim's going to defend the double leg by sprawling. So the mistake will generally come from when I start diving forward, okay, and I leave my hips behind. Okay, it makes my posture very, very weak. So as I start coming into here, Kim is going to be able to put his weight on top of me, okay, and this is going to make it much easier for him to be able to kick those legs back and create space. So as he starts kicking back, and drops my body to the floor, and it completely disconnects me from his legs and his hips. So notice what Kim did there, okay, so from that position, so if I show you on this side now, so as I start stepping in, okay, the first thing Kim wants to do is he wants to start resting his chest over my back, okay. Another thing that he wants to do is he wants to start creating separation between my head and his hips. The way he does that is by bringing his arm in front of my head. Okay, in order for me to be able to lift him up or drive him back, I want to make sure, look here, that I'm penetrating, I'm coming in deep. So by Kim framing across the head and checking my head off, it makes it hard for me to stay close to him. So when he does eventually start kicking those legs back, it makes it very difficult for me to be able to carry through with that takedown.